Wyoming legislators plan to push back against the Bureau of Land Management over its controversial Rock Springs Resource Management Plan. A small group of college students in Riverton is collaborating with NASA to research today's lunar eclipse. And legendary sportscaster Al Michaels this week claims he's never knowingly eaten a vegetable in his life. Could he be the perfect spokesperson for Wyoming beef? We'll take a look at these stories and more today from Wyoming's largest news organization. I'm Wendy Kaur for Cowboy State Daily. Wyoming legislators plan to push back against the Bureau of Land Management over its controversial Rock Springs Resource Management Plan. Senator Brian Boner of Douglas told Cowboy State Daily's Mark Hines that if the plan for managing 3.6 million acres in the Rock Springs region goes through, Wyoming could push back with non-compliance and possibly poaching BLM employees.
They're working on drafting some bills. The first one would encourage the governor's office, if this plan is put in place, to not comply with the BLM's policies, to not cooperate. And then the really interesting part is they're going to try to basically poach BLM employees, try to convince BLM employees who are kind of fed up with things to come work for the state of Wyoming. So this legislation would set up a fund that would maybe help entice these people to jump ship and come work for the state of Wyoming.
Sweetwater County Sheriff John Grossnickel also has told the committee that he would refuse to help the BLM enforce elements of the proposed Rock Springs Resource Management Plan, such as possible road closures. Millions of Americans will be staring at the sky Saturday as an annular eclipse will be visible across the country. In Riverton, a small group of college students is collaborating with NASA to research the celestial event. Cowboy State Daily's Andrew Rossi reports that a group of 5 students are working on a joint research project with NASA and Montana State University, in which the students will launch a balloon during the eclipse to capture video and scientific data that will contribute to an ongoing study of solar eclipses.
The annular eclipse to collect scientific data about new theories about how eclipses might alter the atmosphere and have effects there. It's a study funded by NASA and the National Science Foundation, and it's a really unique opportunity for these students at the beginning of their academic careers to see exactly what scientific research is like and say that they've been involved in a large group project funded by NASA.
The experiment will gather data for a hypothesis that solar eclipses make gravitational pressure waves in the Earth's atmosphere. In a renewed warning call Friday, Wyoming's former U.S. Representative Liz Cheney forecast a full divorce between the Republican Party and the U.S. Constitution if Republicans nominated a powerful Ohio Republican to be House Speaker. Just hours after Cheney's warning, Ohio Representative Jim Jordan did win the Republican nomination for House Speaker and now must secure 217 floor votes to win the post. Jordan chairs the House Judiciary Committee and is an ally of former President Donald Trump. He's also Wyoming's official choice for the House Speaker position, with the public backing of the state's only House representative, Harriet Hageman, another Republican. Cheney, who lost the 2022 Republican primary election to Hageman by nearly 40 points, took to X, formerly Twitter, saying that Jordan was involved in Trump's conspiracy to steal the election and seize power, and if Republicans nominate Jordan to be Speaker, they'll be abandoning the Constitution and will lose the House majority. I'll be back with more news right after this.
At Hilltop Bank, we understand that buying a home is a big decision. That's why we're here to be your trusted partner on the path to home ownership. Our experienced mortgage team will guide you every step of the way, from pre-approval to closing. We offer competitive rates and a wide variety of home loan options to best suit your needs. With our local knowledge and personalized service, you'll feel confident and comfortable throughout the entire home buying process. Contact us today to start your journey toward home ownership. Hilltop Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
A Cheyenne insurance agent says he was shorted as much as $225,000 when he was fired, and he's taking his claim to the Wyoming Supreme Court next month. Cheyenne resident Ron Pinther is suing American National Property and Casualty Insurance Company, or ANPAC, claiming that when he first started working there in 2011, his former employer did not provide important information about how he would be paid for his insurance bookings after his separation from the company. Pinther says had he known, he would never have worked for ANPAC in the first place. Now he's an insurance agent for Allstate, and Pinther has lost his case in lower courts, and he's appealing to the Wyoming Supreme Court, arguing that there's sufficient evidence to show that by not being specific about payout policies, ANPAC breached the contract. It's a lawsuit that Pinther believes could set a precedent for Wyoming employer-employee contracts. 5 people in Teton and Lincoln counties, including 2 children who were hospitalized, are believed to have been made sick by consuming raw milk. The Wyoming Department of Health confirmed Thursday that 4 children overall became sick, along with 1 adult. That's according to Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland.
The 4 children and the 1 adult became sick with either E. coli infection or Campylobacter, and they both stem from fecal matter, and they can cause some digestive issues, cramping, diarrhea, fever, that kind of thing.
Slow Food in the Tetons is a nonprofit group in Jackson that acts as a connection point between buyers and raw food producers. The organization told Cowboy State Daily that they have halted that milk vendor. However, neither the state nor the store is identifying that vendor at this point in the investigation. And legendary Hall of Fame sports broadcaster Al Michaels is famous for so many quotes over his 55-year career, but he may have uttered his most memorable line last week, according to Cowboy State Daily's Jake Nichols, a line that could make him the perfect spokesperson for Wyoming beef.
Up to Schultz, 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
Well, that's the famed call of the 1980 Miracle on Ice Winter Olympic hockey game when the U.S. team shocked the Soviets with a major upset. It's perhaps the most famous quote to ever come out of the mouth of Hall of Fame sports commentator Al Michaels. That is until this week, when the 78-year-old sports broadcaster claimed he's never knowingly eaten a vegetable in his entire life.
I always push the vegetables away. To this day, no. And I guess what I've proven, Chris, is that man does not need vegetables to survive.
Nichols spoke with Jim Magagna, executive director of the Wyoming Stockgrowers Association, who agreed that with that attitude, Al Michaels just might be the perfect celebrity to promote the cattle industry here in Wyoming. And that's today's news. If you're ready to unlock your daily dose of Wyoming, sign up for the Cowboy State Daily newsletter to stay in the know. Just sign up at www.cowboystatedaily.com. I'm Wendy Core for Cowboy State Daily.